Welcome back to Theory Notes, guys. These are Theory Thursdays. Man, I'm a little bit rusty with my Beethoven Pathétique Sonata, but I'm having fun just reviewing it. You know, remind me of back in the day. I was really obsessed with this piece. Okay, so I hope everyone's doing well under the circumstances. You know, it's a time for learning stuff or reviewing stuff and just self-care. Okay, so I hope you guys are okay and doing well. All right, so this video has been a highly requested video, how to read music, okay? Because I know some of us are just reading through synthesia, but now let's get going on reading sheet music. So to read sheet music, let's run down some basics, okay? Some of it might be too easy for you guys, so just scroll through and look for the section that applies to you. Okay, so the musical alphabet only has 7 letters. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, and it just continues. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to the end. Now, if you're going down the piano, which is to the left, you go backwards in your alphabet. So A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, etc. Okay, so reading up, alphabet is normal. Okay, reading down, your alphabet goes backwards. Now that you know all the letters on the keys, we can categorize these letters into pitch numbers, okay? What I mean is because there's so many C's on the piano, okay? So many A's on the piano, so many B's, so many G's, etc. Which one do we play when we're actually reading the music, okay? That's always a confusion for some of my students is, where do I put my hands, Miss Min? Where do I put my hands, okay? So really, this pitch numbering system really helps kind of get rid of all of that confusion. So what I mean is this C over here is C1, C2, C3, C4, which we call middle C, okay? So in my lessons, you always notice I'm always saying middle C or C4, C5, 6, 7, and 8, all right? So in the international pitch notation, we categorize these two notes as 0, okay? So A and B over here, they're 0, and the 1 actually starts on C. All right, now for those of you who have only 61 keys on your piano, your pitch numbering system already starts on C2. Okay, and then your piano ends on C7. All right, so for those people who have 61 keys, you don't have these notes on these sides. Okay, so your piano is a little bit shorter. Okay, so if I play a note here, what pitch is this? Okay, so if you said G2, you are correct. So because this is G1, this is G2. All right, let's try another one. What pitch number is that? If you said E4, you are correct. Okay, so E1, E2, E3, E4. All right, so that's the numbering system. So when we're doing the lessons, you notice I'm always referring to notes as C4 or C5 or G5, you know, G2, etc. Just so I know that you know where we're starting on the piano. If I just say G, okay, which G are you talking about? Okay, if I say E, well, which E are we talking about here? There's quite a few. All right, so the pitch numbering system really helps. Now we gotta divide the piano into 2 parts, okay? So the right-hand side from middle C up, we're gonna categorize as our treble clef or our G clef. And then the opposite, we're gonna say we're gonna categorize it as our bass clef, okay? Or some people call it F clef. Now for the treble clef, you see it's that fancy little, you know, symbol. And then for the bass clef, it looks like a little earlobe with 2 dots, okay? Just by looking at this, you already know which side you're reading on, okay? So if you see a treble clef, you know you're working on the higher side of the piano. If you see your bass clef, you already know you're reading something on the lower side of the piano. So when you put these clefs together, when you see it together, the treble is on top, the bass clef is on the bottom, and we call that the grand staff. Okay, so that's how you're going to be seeing your music from now on, is you'll see the treble on top and the bass clef on the bottom. Sometimes you see another treble clef on top. Okay, that's for like a vocal line. Okay, so that's for like a vocalist to follow, and then the piano player to play the two clefs on the bottom. We are going to have a look at the music. Dun, 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 dun. We have 5 lines and 4 spaces. Okay, so let's take this note. It's a line note. You notice there's a line cutting through the middle. All right, and then this note F here is a space note. You see no line cutting through the middle. Okay, so that's the difference between line and space visually on the sheet music. Now, so when I'm going from one line note to the next letter on the piano, which is F, you can see visually it's a line note, then a space note, and then line, space, line, space. Okay, and then the same thing going backwards, obviously. Space, line, space, line, space. Okay, so when you're going to your next door neighbor on the piano, visually on the music, it's a line to a space. Now, if you skip from one line to the next, visually on the keys, you notice your keys are skipping. Okay, if you're skipping on the space notes, going from one space to the next, to the next, to the next, you can see that on the keys, it's also skipping. All right, so remember, it happens backwards the same way. So if I'm going back, okay, or if I'm going back down by step, you're going backwards in your alphabet. Next, I would like to introduce you guys to the twins. Okay, so you're like, they are not twins because they're in different locations of the piano. But if you look at the music, don't they look the same? Okay, so the E4 here is the first line of the treble clef. G2 here is the first line of the bass clef. They look identical, okay? But remember, if we had twins, we wouldn't give them the same name, right? So it's exactly the same concept on the piano. These twins, they look alike, but of course, they don't have the same name, okay? Okay, so let's use the first twin, G2, to read some notes. I'm gonna give you a note on screen. Okay, so we see this note. It lives on a space. All right, so let's count our lines and spaces to get up to this note. Okay, our alphabet goes regularly. So G is the line. Reset your alphabet. A is the space. B is the line note. C is the space. Okay, line number 3 is D. And we finally reach this note. It's E, okay? And we can say exactly which E. It's E number 3. Okay, another note. Have a look. So from this E to the next note, we're going backwards in the alphabet because we're going down the staff. Okay, so E is your space, D is your line note, okay, the third one. And then we reach the note, it is C. Okay, so we can say exactly C number 3. Okay, so let's apply this concept to our second twin, which is E4. Okay, so I'll give you the note. So we see that this note is up in the staff, so we got to go right to our alphabet. Okay, so E is the line, space is F, G is line, space is A. Okay, line number 3 is B, and we finally reach that note. It is a C, and we can say exactly which C it is. It's C number 5. All right, so one more note. Have a look at it. Okay, from C, we got to go down because this note is lower on the staff. So let's go backwards in our alphabet. C is the space. B is the line, the third one. A is the space. And then this note you see is G. Okay, so exactly which one is it? It's G number 4. Okay guys, so really out of this video, all you have to know is the first twin, which is G2, and the second twin, which is E4. And you can read any note on the keyboard from there. Okay? Yay, congratulations guys, you know how to read music, okay? Obviously it seems very tedious right now, it's just the beginning, okay? There are obviously a lot of tricks that I can show you to read faster, but let's today learn how to read first. Okay, so on your screen you see a very funky looking note. You're like, why is this note living off of the grand staff? And it has little mini lines attached to it as well. Okay, those mini lines are called ledger lines. They're basically used to extend your grand staff. Okay, so out of the 5 lines, more lines are added just to kind of keep counting lower or keep counting higher. Okay, so that note on your screen, let's find out what it is. We're going to start on E4. Okay, so now to get to this note, we gotta go backwards because this note is below the line. Okay, so E is your line, D is your space right underneath there. Now the first little mini line is middle C, okay? The next space right underneath that mini line is B. And then finally we reach that note is A, okay? And we can tell you exactly which A number 3, okay? Because we followed our line and space each time we counted. All right, so let's apply this to the left side. So we have our G2, okay? Have a look at the note on your screen. Which way are we going to count? Yeah, we're gonna go down, backwards, okay? So G is the line. The space underneath is F. Okay, the first mini letter line is E. Under that is D. And the note we are given is C. And that is C number 2. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, okay. I know I'm old, I say these weird things. Okay. Congratulations guys, you now know how to read music. Okay, very exciting. So if we get stuck on an island, there happens to be a piano and a lot of sheet music, you can really stay busy, right? Because you know how to read music now, yeah! Please like, comment, share below. And of course, kindness is free, so sprinkle that stuff everywhere. Booyah!